Hey everybody, this is Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff, and I am slowly returning from maternity leave. I just had a little girl. Her name's Olivia. She's adorable. And Apple was cool enough to send all of the iPhone 13 models, and I had a chance to take a look at a couple of them, but my interest here really is to pick the best smartphone out there with the best cameras. And I think that Apple has some contenders here, so I just want to give some of my early thoughts. Having a smartphone with a great set of cameras is more important to me than ever because this is Olivia's first year of life and I want to document everything and not miss a thing. And of course, my smartphone is the set of cameras I have on me mostly. So these images better be pretty good. So let's get into it. First things first, let's officially get these all out of their boxes. This is midnight. This is the iPhone 13 mini. Whip. Got the iPhone 13 in pink. Whip. We've got the iPhone 13 Pro, and this is probably the one that most people are going to buy. This is in gold. Get off there. I guess it's more gold looking than last year. And these cameras are comically huge. This is a significant bump. Whip. And finally, the Blue Ridge 13 Pro Max. And I already opened this guy and took a peek at it. I love this color. It's not so masculine and dreary looking. It's kind of I would say it's more androgynous. Actually, it's kind of the same color as my background here. It's beautiful. I must really have baby on the brain because we've got this pastel looking blue with a baby pink, chalk pink case. Works for me. Now last year I was really curious about the iPhones and I wavered between the 12 Pro Max and the 12 Pro, but I was really irritated about the compromises between the cameras, so I ended up just going with the mini instead. It was the best cost to price ratio, plus I found out I was pregnant, my hands got super swollen, so it just made sense for me to have something that was small. It was easy for me to handle. So this year the Mini has a brighter screen. It actually feels a little bit heavier, it has a bigger battery, so it's got better battery life. And it's also got cameras that are comparable to the iPhone 12 Pro Max of last year. You can just see how different that looks. They were cleverly able to fit a larger camera sensor in here by having this be diagonal instead of vertical like this. So I think the iPhone 13 mini is going to work quite well for some people, but like I said, it's got comparable cameras to the iPhone 12 Pro Max of last year, and I really didn't like the minimum focusing distance of the 12 Pro Max of last year. You couldn't get very close to your subject, and it's the same thing here. So I'll be passing this one up and just keeping my 12 mini. Love this little guy. I must say though, the smaller notch is quite noticeable on the 12 mini. You actually have a bit of screen real estate on either side here, where I thought this looked like little horns, so that's also something to consider. Now looking at the regular iPhone 13, it's just like the mini, it's just bigger. You've also got the brighter display, the longer battery life, and also the upgraded cameras. But it's seriously the least interesting of the bunch of iPhones here. Unless you really want a pink iPhone, seriously, go with the iPhone 13 Pro. This is where it's at. You want these cameras. Plus, we have that 120 hertz display, so it's like butter. If you can pay that extra $200, I really don't see a reason to get this one at all. Now, as for the iPhone 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max, I'm going to group them together because this year there's no compromises between them. When we're talking about the cameras particularly, they've got the same specs. Of course, this one's bigger, so we've got a bigger screen, longer battery life, but I'm hearing great things about the battery life on this one. It's improved over last year as well, so pick your poison here. You can't go wrong with either one. I'm going to go with this one because I want that huge screen. So why do these cameras excite me in terms of taking pictures of baby? Well, not only do we have 3 different focal lengths, and you've got a 77mm focal length for that 3x camera, so that's going to look really nice for portrait shots. But for that main camera, we've got 1.9 micron pixels and an aperture of f1.5. So this is going to be a very nice indoor camera. Where I take pictures of baby most is indoors in less than favorable lighting conditions. So with the specs on this guy, you bet you can take really nice, clean indoor images that are really detailed. And that f1.5 aperture allows to have a really nice shallow depth of field as well. And from what I've seen so far, the picture quality is buttery. It's beautiful. I'm going to be taking a lot of samples with this. Can't wait to do that. They have also fixed my complaints about the minimum focusing distance. I can now get very, very close to a subject, which is extremely exciting for me. So what they've done here is they have the ultra-wide angle camera that has autofocus on it. And you can get extremely, extremely close to things now. I can get so close to my screen, for example, that I can see the pixel array. So I can see the sub-pixel layouts, which is crazy. I was also able to see the pixel layout of the under the screen camera on the Z Fold 3. So my impression was just, wow, that isn't a gimmick. That truly is a really nice macro camera on this thing. I really don't agree with their implementation, though, with how they're switching between the cameras. It's really jarring. You can see that I'm holding right here and it's using the main camera. If I go in just a little bit closer, it switches automatically to that ultra wide angle camera. And that is really, really jarring, particularly in video. It breaks things is what it does. So from what I'm hearing from around the interwebs is that Apple will probably be giving us an update so that we can turn off this automatic switching. You can see as I switch between the cameras that my framing is changing, and that's just not acceptable. So please fix that, Apple. Right now, filming any type of video with something that's remotely close to the camera is just busted. Not good. I think I understand, though, why they've done this automatically. It makes it really easy for just the end user to be able to have macro photos without having to worry about it. But also that main camera has pretty poor minimum focusing distance. And the way that I was able to prove that the main camera doesn't have a very good minimum focusing distance is that I just covered up the ultra wide camera, kind of treating it like ultra low light. And that forced the main camera to be used only. And yeah, it's just not able to get very close to a subject. So in order to make up for that really poor minimum focusing distance of that main camera, they've enabled autofocus on the ultra wide, and that's giving us some really nice macro shots. The thing is, though, that you're losing that shallow depth of field. I've got several examples where I show that you've got really nice shallow depth of field, you move it just a tiny bit closer, and you've got a very deep focus. So that's really not so nice. But still, if we have the ability to disable that automatic switching, it's going to be a lot more seamless of an experience. It won't break things, for example. But otherwise, image quality on this thing is second to none. Far better than what I'm getting with my Z Fold 3. I love this phone. This is a really cool phone. But the cameras are older and they are clumsy. I tried to take some nice pictures of baby, but they came out kind of dark. And also, there's just so much noise reduction going on that there's no detail in the image, so not cool with that. That's where the iPhone is really going to shine. So this is my Android counterpart that is my work phone, but this one is my personal phone. And also what I'm going to be taking pictures with. This is nice. Just Apple, seriously, you need to fix that automatic switching. Now the last little tidbit to leave you guys with before I go, and these are just some preliminary findings as I've been looking at these screens. I'm seeing a little bit of variations between the white points. So these are the two Pro models, and I can see that this one's just a tiny bit warmer than this one is. So it's got a little bit more of a warmish cast. Otherwise, these three look really similar. So I think it's all going to just be down to variation. If you don't like the way your screen looks, just exchange it. But otherwise, overall, these are very nicely calibrated displays. The colors look very accurate. I've been happy with the grayscale calibration as well. So I don't see shadow clipping, black clipping. It's just a really nice overall experience, especially when you start talking about that 120 hertz refresh of the display. The Pro models are really what you should be going for. So let me know what you guys think. Which are you going to purchase, if any? And I'm curious to hear from you all which phones you think have the best cameras on the market. Either ones that have come out or ones that are about to come out. Just let me know. I'm curious. So this has been Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff. Please like, comment, subscribe. I hope to see you guys soon in future videos, and have a good night.